there's like a garage over here.
Yeah.
So.
Call the August 17th, 2026 Polk City Planning and Zoning Commission meeting to order. Roll call.
Jenkins,
Here.
Roz,
Here.
Van Alstine, Vogel,
Here.
Olfest,
Here.
McCann,
Here.
Lutnick.
Here.
Item 3, approval of the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda. I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Item 4, approval of P&Z Commission meeting minutes for July 20th, 2026.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of July 20th, 2026.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Item 5, 215 East Grime Street, plat of survey. Developer report?
Yep.
Name and address, please, to start.
Kyle Hout, 469 Northeast 9th Street, Polk City.
You just kind of want to walk through kind of what you're,
Yeah, so I'm trying to buy a lot that was already tied to another lot. So there's the house that's on Grime Street. The individual wants to sell just the lot that is on the backside, which has an outbuilding, which is on Church Street. So I'm just trying to buy that and separate that out and actually take his sewer, because the sewer actually goes across the backyard. I need to take his sewer down a 10-foot easement that goes along the either southeast or south. And then I'm going to actually add on to that actually outbuilding. That outbuilding is, if I attach something to it, that outbuilding is actually over the setbacks. So they're tried to make an agreement or have some type of an agreement to allow that to remain, so I don't have to take that, whatever it is, 8 foot off the back of there. I'm going to attach a property to that and then just have it as a rental property.
all right. City engineer, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, so as Kyle alluded to, this move creates a non-conformity, but brings the lot into the character of the neighborhood, if that makes sense. So basically what the proposed move would do is it would take a similarly sized lot to what's out there existing and create a primary structure out of it. Generally speaking, we were supportive of this move. We think it allows one more taxable, buildable area to be created in an old part of town where we don't get that opportunity very often. The proposed agreement basically protects the city and its agents should there be some sort of substantial loss defined as a 50% change in the property value, or if a building permit beyond what is to be done, adding the primary structure were to be applied for, that structure, whatever the resulting would need to be brought into conformance with the rear yard setback. Really what this boils down to is because of the way that this lot is situated, that the outbuilding as it sits today is perfectly conforming, but when you put a property line down the middle of it, it creates a rear yard setback that doesn't exist today. Generally speaking, it's not going to change the nature of that lot. It's not going to change the way that lot operates. Right. By and large, we think it's a positive development for this neighborhood and for the city itself. So we would recommend the commission approve the plat of survey, subject to the items that we've listed, where the Planning and Zoning Commission acknowledges and approves that requested waiver of the rear yard setback to accommodate in accordance with the future agreement that the developer will enter into, and then provision of all required legal documents and payment of all fees and professional billings. So our normal subject twos are those last two, but that different one is item number 1 in our recommendation.
Okay.
Staff approves recommendation.
All right. Has there been any public comment received or anyone in the audience like to talk on the item? Any questions or comments? from
I
the
just
commission?
had one, Kyle. Is that, that'll just be a standard size lot then for you, or a little bigger lot? Or
It is, what is, I think it's 90, is it 9,600 square foot? I guess it's the original. 12,000, okay, so never mind, it is a little bit bigger.
it had split basically along that center line?
Yes.
Yeah.
Of the old alley.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like the original, or the owner that's there has kind of created some problems by doing some things himself, or kind of pushing some things, I think, back in the day with this, running the plumbing and everything all the way through this backyard and all that stuff, but
Sure,
so we're
yeah.
trying to get that all figured out.
Okay.
Or we do have that all figured out, so.
Okay.
All right, is there,
I make a motion to approve the 215 East Grime Street plat of survey.
Second.
roll call?
Second, I'm sorry.
Great.
Olfest,
Yes.
Mann,
Yes.
Lutnick,
Yes.
Hankins,
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Vogel.
Yes. All right. Item passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kyle.
Item 6, Antler Ridge plat, Antler Ridge plat 3 plat of survey. Developer report, please start with your name and address.
Hi, Adam Shepner with Nillis Associates, 1933 Southwest Magazine in Ankeny. We're within Antler Ridge Plat 3. What the plat of survey is proposing to do is to take 4 existing lots and combine them into 3. The builder that bought those 4 lots had a larger house envisioned than what the existing lots that were platted would support. So we're combining the 4 into 3. Really the only complication, I guess, if you might say, that this adds is there's an extra set of utility services. They'll be on the northernmost parcel that I think we have an agreement that when the permit for that lot's pulled, they're gonna abandon those. But they're all still R1, they're all still complying with the zoning, the underlying zoning.
Okay.
Okay.
City engineer report?
So as Adam mentioned, just consolidated some lots. We've revised we've coordinated the services. We have revised the addresses accordingly with the split. And then the biggest thing, and the most important thing for this commission is all of the requirements set forth in the original final plat in accordance with the approved preliminary plat are still fully enforced with this plat of survey, including this does not alter the parkland dedication associated. Oh, and we would recommend approval of this.
All right. Any public comment received on the item? Questions or comments from the commission?
I'll make a motion to approve the plat of survey for Antler Ridge, Plat 3, lots 10 through 13.
Second?
All right,
Second,
I think you get, yeah. Roll call?
Malstein,
Yes.
Vogel,
Yes.
Olfest,
Yes.
Mann,
Yes.
Lutnick,
Yes.
Hankins,
Yes.
Ronks.
Yes.
All right, item passes, thank you.
Thank you.
Item 7, comprehensive plan amendment number 15 regarding future land use plan near the Polk City Regional Park.
All right, so for the commission's consideration tonight is something we've talked about ad nauseum at this point. One of the reasons that we're back is kind of the way that the agenda read last time, some of the questions that the commission had, and because there's a public hearing component to this at the city council level, we wanted to clean that up. So by and large, actually not by and large, nothing in the actual map itself changed since the last time you saw it. However, we cleaned up some of the questions you had. What we found out is that ArcGIS did this really fun thing when it updated, that it doesn't automatically rerun your numbers. So the numbers that you saw in the existing way back when was like the first numbers we'd ever run, and we had to tell it to rerun. So that was the fun thing that we kind of discovered about the new version of GIS that we didn't realize. But basically, I should have tested this before we started, but generally speaking, what you'll see in the memo reflects and should more closely correlate to what you would expect based on the changes and discussions we've made. The biggest thing, or the land use changes that we're proposing are an increase of approximately 3.8 acres in commercial, a reduction of 5.2 in high-density residential, increases of 29 in industrial, 25.3 basically in low-density residential, and then reductions in medium-density and mixed use. If you run those first two columns in that table, the numbers, they're somewhere between 3 and 5 acres off, and that's just a product of when you get such a big area that we're analyzing, when you start playing with the snaps, it changes a little bit. We cleaned up some residual, overlaps or underruns or gaps in the shapes. So that would be the primary difference if you go and add up those first two columns. But generally speaking, that's going to kind of summarize what it is that we're proposing to do. Some of the more maybe alarming things that come from this change would be the mixed use drop. We prioritized adding mixed use, but in all actuality, what we ended up doing is we ended up shifting a lot of the pre-existing mixed use north of 126th, and then we strategically placed mixed use in and around the immediate area around the regional park to be more strategic in some of these higher value properties and these higher value uses. And I think generally speaking, what we're seeing is, and what we think this plan does, is it really illustrates and captures the intent of, we're putting this regional park out there, we're gonna have 57 acres of sports complex with all of these visitors coming in. How do we capture that growth in an effective, meaningful, but yet responsible and cognizant way? And so we're strategically placing industrial on one of our most direct connections to the interstate. We're placing that mixed use and commercial space in and around the park, or around the park, in a way that will reflect many of the sports complexes you see around the metro, where you've got that entryway of residential, and then that next band is that commercial, mixed use, downtown-y type feel. Something that between ball games somebody could walk to, or if somebody wanted to make it a destination, they certainly could. So it gives you that good balance. We recommend this for approval, or we recommend that the commission recommend this for approval. And then we've given you basically three options to make your recommendation. Either recommend as presented, recommend with any comments or corrections as you see fit, or should you not choose to recommend approval, we also have that as an option as well. So you can feel free to use that, or if you'd like to discuss anything in particular before we make a motion, be happy to do so.
Should we make a recommendation, council approve this? What is the hearing process that you alluded to?
So because it's a comp plan amendment, and I always get mixed up on what needs 3 readings and what doesn't. So at minimum, it would need, so we would set the public hearing at Monday's meeting. It would then, I think we would, because of the way that the months work out, I think we're scheduling it for the second meeting of September. No, it may be the first one, depending on the publication requirements. Then you would have a public hearing and at minimum approve the first reading if it's a 3 reading requirement. Otherwise, there would be a public hearing and you would approve the comprehensive plan. I believe comprehensive plan amendments require 3 readings, but I'd have to confirm that.
And it's my recollection, we are not changing any land use within land that is annexed into Polk City currently. Is that a correct statement?
The only thing is so the southern half of the Berggren Farms parcel, so this guy right here, is now mixed use. That's the only change, but that's not been rezoned. It was purely brought in order to accommodate the Gateway Crossings
So it's
annexation.
still agriculture currently?
Correct. It's agriculturally zoned, and he's basically told us as long as he's alive, he has no intention of doing anything with it. So I don't think we're changing any immediate plans by doing such.
Any other comments or questions from the commission? Maybe just check your title of your memo there for if you can, before it goes to council.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Good point. Is there
I make a motion to recommend approval of the proposed comprehensive plan as presented.
I'll second.
Roll call?
McCann,
Yes.
Plutnik,
Yes.
Hankins,
Yes.
Mraz,
Yes.
Van Alstine,
Yes.
Vogel,
Yes.
Olfest.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Item 8, reports and particulars, council liaison.
Good evening, Commission. I don't have anything new to report, so I'd be happy to answer any questions any commission members might have, but that's it.
All right, any questions for liaison?
The traffic circle still on schedule as far as you know?
That's why I'm still standing up here.
I see.
I won't make Jeff take those arrows.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, the short is no, and then Travis will elaborate.
All right,
Thank you.
no city manager, staff, any comments or things to?
Can report to the commission, I guess, a little bit, just an active building season this year so far. We're sitting probably, I think, 56 new single-family permits.
Nice.
New commercial going up. We received a permit for one of the tenant build-outs for net spaces, so, positive overall, just really good.
Good.
Nice.
Can you say who the tenant is?
I can definitely tell you. It is a medical user that.
Okay.
Would you like to add
Yes.
some information?
So I wanted to give a update on both of the federally aided projects that we've got going on in the city right now. The one that's on everybody's mind is the roundabout. What I will tell you is, so the contract originally included a completion date of August 10th. Throughout the summer, we ran into several issues, including Mid-American telling us that they had relocated something they had not. And so we've been working through some delays on that. What I will tell you is we've been working diligently over the last 3 business days to work with Absolute to get that thing open for school on Monday. Where we are currently at is hoping that it doesn't rain. But generally speaking, the intent is that we will have all 3 legs of that roundabout open for at least the first 2 weeks of school. The intent this week, so they poured the last non-colored concrete in the roadway this morning. They're building the intakes and the box outs along the east side to make sure that they get that pavement down. And they intend to have those poured no later than Wednesday. They'll then move to, there's a beam curb in the middle, where if you think about the existing roundabout, there's that landscape bed in the middle. That's basically what they would be building with the beam curb. They'll then follow with the colored stamped truck apron. And then if weather and timing allows, they would pour the raised medians as stamped and colored concrete as well. Basically, the intent is to have everything we need to have done Friday afternoon, get it cured, and then the traffic control subcontractor is planning on being out here either Saturday or Sunday, depending on the other operations that are happening in that intersection. And we intend to open it Sunday night for school traffic. I plan to be up here reviewing that with the traffic control contractor, getting that buttoned up and ready to go. After that, what we are currently thinking is they have not completed the western curb line, as well as we've still got an active gas main conflict in the northeast corner of that intersection that needs to be addressed. That's going to hold up a little bit of storm sewer as well as a trail construction, but where they need to access their gas main is currently under the temporary pavement. So at some point later this fall, we'll coordinate the exact time period and duration of that with the school, the city council, city staff, and the necessary emergency services. But we anticipate another closure of the east leg for approximately 2 weeks. We anticipate right now that being a temporary signal, but that needs to be confirmed by the city council at their meeting on Monday. We're working through some of those things, some of those details, but generally speaking, the intent is it will be open, all 3 legs in some form or fashion for Monday's school. We'll get through those first 2 weeks and then determine when the next best time is to impact traffic down there. With the idea being that closure, hopefully, the more they jam into this week, the less they have to jam into that second closure. And so instead of 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, does it become 1 week? That it'll all be predicated on several moving pieces.
So I'd be happy to answer any questions you guys may have on that. I know you guys probably get questions about that, but it's been a difficult summer in a couple of ways. And then it's been a really tough last week because we couldn't get a dry day out of last week. I think we'd be jamming a lot less into this week if the weather had cooperated a little bit last week.
When the second outage occurs, has anyone looked at the Iowa State football schedule to see if it's closed for a weekend?
I've not yet. I know when North Polk plays home games. I know when they host their marching band competition, and I know when their homecoming is. And I've got meetings with the school twice this week to make sure that if they've thought of anything else we need to work around, we will. But that is a good call, Ron. I had not considered that because I did know that people use it as a.
It's a busy Saturday, yeah. And for businesses here in town too.
Yeah. And with the Iowa game being in Iowa City, they're gonna have one more that's later in the season, I would anticipate. So that's a good point that we should consider.
All right.
And then separately, the trailhead, if you guys have been paying attention to that at all, it's been very slow moving because unlike where we're at with the roundabout, where once you put rock down, you can recover from rain pretty quickly as long as it doesn't rain 5 consecutive days. The trailhead is not that way right now. They're in the mass grading and utility section of that work. And so they've pretty much been at a standstill for the better part of 2 weeks because about the time it dries out, it rains again. They've slogged through a couple of manhole adjustments there on the trailhead. I'm sure you've seen that big structure go up on the west-ish side of the trailhead. But what they're telling us is they intend to, once the weather kind of cooperates, they're about a week out from paving, a good dry week on other jobs, and then they're going to move in and immediately be able to place probably about 2/3 of the length of the trail. They'll place the trail from Kiwanis Park to Bluff Street. They'll place the trail that runs through Crossroads at the Lakes, so from Home State Bank to Grimes. And then it sounds like they've got the better part of 2 crews queued up to handle all of the work along Second, Bluff, and Broadway in pretty quick order. So
The trail gonna be concrete or asphalt?
concrete.
Concrete.
Yep, and there will be the other elements. I'm sure you guys are aware of some of the trailhead elements. We'll be adding a second retaining wall along Second Street. So where that storage facility is that has the retaining wall, there'll be a second tier lower on that to give us the space and elevation we need, as well as we'll be protecting the retaining wall along Grinnell State Bank.
All right, good. No further? Nope. Thank you. Thank you. Item 9, is there a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Meeting adjourned.